see over here. We are live. Hello, people.
Hello, people.
Hold on. All right. Hello, people. Welcome to Chat Her Up. Today, we are going to do a recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta, episodes, season 16, episode 11, and it is titled Mediation and Meditation, or Meditation and Mediation. That was the
Oh,
name of the episode. All right, how you doing today, Callie?
I am okay. Any chapsticks on your mind?
I think probably the biggest thing is one, Trump done extended these tariffs 90 days and the Diddy trial, but it wasn't. I haven't gotten it. Today was the first day of the Diddy trial, but I'm waiting on my girl on TikTok to recap it for the day.
I wonder why they didn't make it live for everybody to see like they did Johnny Depp's.
I don't think New York does that.
That's not where they were on Johnny Depp trial?
I have no
Him and
idea.
Amber Heard? I
I
guess,
have no idea. Be honest. I know
yeah.
California does, but I know not every state does. And
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, what trial was Trump in? That was in Georgia. No, I don't think they do every trial. I don't think New York does.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could be. I don't think New York does, but I could be wrong. But I know that this one was not going to have them because I heard people talking about how who, one particular girl who I watch on TikToks who does any court case, interesting court case that comes up. She said that it's a particular reporter that she's going to be getting her information from.
Mm.
And she was like, you could probably get the information quicker if you go directly to him because it's not like, the Georgia trials where they have the cameras in there. So it's easier to recap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we're going by what a reporter says.
Right.
It comes out whenever they come out. Mhm. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and anybody that's out there that's listening, let's label this or not label it. Scale it 1 through 10. What did you give this particular episode? 1 through 10.
I,
What you give it, Callie?
about a five or six.
5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
This was a really sad episode to me, but I guess I would give it about a 6.
A
I wasn't
sad
bored.
episode? You thought it was a sad episode?
Oh yeah, it was a really sad episode. Like I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but
Mm-hmm.
Angela played these two girls like a fiddle. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Usually it's not as profound. Like, I don't know how Portia and Shamia watched this episode and didn't call each other and be like, girl, we got played. I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
it's just a setup that was done by Todd to come to y'all with the mess.
Right. Like it was
Because if it
so
was really that
blatant.
bad, don't you think Portia or at least Shamia would have called her?
I think that
No.
so much time has gone by because Shamia was kind of like she was ticked off last night. But I don't know how them as adult women watched this episode and was okay with it. Like Angela clearly manipulated them. Like and in her mind, you could be on Angela's side. In Angela's
Do you
mind,
want to just go right to that, or you want to go
no,
with
we can start with Ralph. Let's start with Ralph. Let's start with Shamia and let's start. And we'll get there because we're gonna spend a lot of time now. Shamia visiting Ralph. That was one of the first scenes. Ralph called her, by the way. She didn't call Ralph. Ralph asked to have a meeting with her.
your phone
Obviously,
is breaking out a little bit.
is it? You can't hear me? I don't know.
I can't
You
at the
talk.
second. It's
Okay.
working now, so it should be good.
Okay. So, Shamia, Ralph didn't call Shamia. I mean, Ralph called Shamia, and obviously he was okay with being filmed because he had his own confessional. So he calls Shamia, and Shamia asks Portia to come to this dinner, I guess, to act as her witness. That was a stupid reason to do that. They were definitely being shady here, I think. But what you think about this scene?
I think it was shady, and I think Portia absolutely knew that she was going to walk in there with the sole intention of being messy. And then some of the questions that she was asking Ralph were even messier. So it was planned. It clearly, I think he's lying too. I think he knew she was going to be there. Yeah, I do. I didn't like it at all. And then Shamia made up the excuse that, oh, I don't see anything wrong with. We was on a podcast together. I don't think it's a matter of what you guys were on together. Y'all made it a point that somebody else connected to it in one way or another should be asked first. Did she ask? They work together. Everybody else is trying to work together. Like Drew's trying to work together, but she keeps getting called out by Portia.
I do think that's different, but let me say this:
So
Shamia
they
did
keep
not
doing that.
Okay, I'll let you finish. Go ahead. You finish?
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Shamia,
yeah.
Ralph called Shamia. Let's be clear about that. Shamia didn't call Ralph. I thought it was shady to invite Portia, hands down. But
why does that matter?
Because she had no.
I didn't hear what you said.
Portia's entire thing was to be messy. Portia coming was just messy. But Ralph calling her, that's all on Ralph being messy. That's
well, come on now.
They really did work together. So and this was before. And let me also say this. If you're not going to respect what I asked you to do, why should I respect you? It has to work both ways.
Because you're the one that made it a big deal for her.
It wasn't. But she didn't respect it.
And she didn't respect what she told somebody else to respect.
You be trying to make points that are not.
It is a point.
What's the point? You be specific.
I just said that their whole thing was, before you go out here and do anything with my ex in any way, that's the point. The whole point.
Okay, but that was definitely
their point.
I don't think that it was about doing anything with my ex. I don't think that was Portia's point. I think Portia was about filming with him. That was Portia's issue. Him working with her wasn't the issue. Portia was aware that they were working together. It was the filming part. And prior to when Portia had when Portia had this conversation, they had not filmed. Let's be clear. They had not filmed. They filmed. Remember, we find out that she finds out that they filmed. So she's like,
it doesn't matter. Okay. They were.
But if you're filming with my ex, I'm gonna film with yours. But if you're gonna decide after I've asked you not to film and you filmed anyway, I have a right to film.
You're wrong, but that's okay. What else happened?
Anyway,
she was on film.
I mean, you can't ask me not to do something that you're doing. You can't. I asked you not to do it. You did it anyway. So I got you. It's a tit for tat. It ain't okay, but it's a tit for tat.
Portia said it's not a tit for tat.
But it is. She just playing. But she tripping or she lying to herself because she asked her before they filmed together not to film together. She told him and she made it clear to her they filmed together anyway. So now that they have filmed together, she like got you. When the opportunity came, they filmed together. You can't ask if I ask you not to do something, you do it anyway. You boom, got you. It's tit for tat at this point. I ain't saying it's right. I just understand. Because no, Portia went
Yeah.
out messy. But
Yeah.
the ultimate boom is that while this is going on, Angela's manipulating the mess out of them. She's manipulating the mess out of them. And it's crazy that these women still today don't see that. That both of them, like, it ain't that much pride I would have. Even if you don't want to call your friend on the phone, I would have been texting you like, girl, we got played like lotto. They need, if they are intelligent people, if they halfway smart people, halfway, they would come up in that reunion like, boom, you can't break this up. I'm mad at you right now, but you my friend. That happens within friendships. But I do, we could talk about Portia's shady past with Shamia, because she definitely has done some things that have been poor against Shamia. But we're talking 7 or 8 years ago, not figuratively 7 or 8 years ago, literally 7 or 8 years ago. Okay. Now, today, I will admit that Portia, or when I say today, I'm talking about this present season, Portia was shady on that first episode, possibly showing up late. Yes, it was shady for her to make that comment about whether or not it was her singing or Drew singing. Yes, I will admit that. But that ain't dogging your friend. Having a conversation with Angela about Portia was crazy to me. That was insane to me. I don't know
Okay,
why.
so here,
go ahead. And if you didn't notice, Angela's having a conversation with Drew.
I love how Joy said, "Go ahead." And if you didn't,
and Kelly. So this is
they were shady. They were shady.
This is manipulation at its best. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right, but what you said, Joy, is that you think they let me see, your text message said that they have sabotaged this 20-year friendship. Is what
you talking about in the group? No, I said
earlier.
I mean, yeah,
and I saw that you put up a page too. Huh?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you're saying that it's because of them that this 20-year friendship is ruined. But Joy,
I'm not
obviously
saying
the 20-year friendship was already ruined. That's what your emails. That's what you said in the in your message. Hi, Miss. Oh, I ain't seen you in forever, Miss Behaving. Hi. Yeah. So they didn't sabotage it, Joy. The relationship was already sabotaged by themselves, by the people that are in there. So I agree with you. Kel was messy as heck. That she get messier every week. It's kind of funny. Angela was messy, especially when Angela said, she told Portia, what'd she say? Oh, that she was too, Shamia said she was too scared to talk to her. Yet after the little pampered by Portia thing, she came back and she said, well, that's how I thought you were. I thought you were too scared. You're lying, Angela. One, you're changing people. So I agree with all that. They were shady as heck, but they didn't destroy this friendship.
Whether or not they destroyed it, that's to be determined. But she definitely manipulated both of those ladies. Angela set up there. Let's keep it above. Angela don't like Shamia or Portia, but she sat up there with Shamia and gave her a list of things of why Portia was not her friend. Angela did that, and then she's sitting up here thinking about it, and she commented or responded to, and what did Angela do? She talked to Kelly, she talked to Drew, then she went back to invited Portia to
out again
for the sole purpose of telling her what Shamia said. Now, to Portia's credit, she didn't say nothing. She put her hand up, she started crying, and she left. But Angela, and
that's good. That's to her credit.
Party sat back and watched that French and was with a smirk on her face, because this was all payback for talking about her husband. That's what this was about. Angela,
she went harder than that.
Angela is. I wonder if she is Scorpio, because this is some old Phaedra stuff. Phaedra does stuff like this. Phaedra manipulates things like this as well. And then sits back and it looks like her hands are clean. I was just trying to fix it. She can't stand neither one of those ladies. This was 100% retaliatory. 100%. Because even Kelly tells her, she went back and told that everything you said.
Yeah. They were all shady. They were shady as heck. But, you know, it still goes back to there will always be shade, but they definitely
But
didn't
I
ruin
think
their friendship.
shady is one thing. Shade is what Kelly did. You can be shady and not have bad intentions. What Angela did was different. I think it was manipulating. When you know what you're doing, when you know she had bad intentions. Like, this is a divide and conquer. Oh, I'm finna pull these two apart. And she came up with a plan and she executed with perfect precision. Like, I'm telling you,
Why do you think she would want to pull them apart? Why do you
because
think
they talked about, because Portia said she was gonna sleep with her husband and Shamia laughed.
Okay.
This is 100%
But Shamia wasn't the only one laughing.
But that's
Shamia
who she
wasn't the
called
only
out.
one
She didn't
laughing at
call
that.
out Kelly.
She
didn't call out
all
Kelly.
of them.
And she called, what's her name, a whore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, this is 100% retaliatory. This is some old Phaedra stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to see her and Phaedra, because I heard Phaedra comes in hot against her. And it'll just be interesting to just how they navigate. Now, this is in the world of just this being
bad.
What do you call it? Reality TV and understanding how relationships work. This is TV gold. Angela is the MVP, but she is better than even Kenya. Kenya wasn't even this smooth with it. Kenya used to do stuff like this too, but she wasn't as smooth with it. Like, she would wait for an opportunity to strike. Angela set all the fires. She set all the fires and literally laid back and watched it burn. I don't know. I just was shocked because I wasn't expecting it from Angela.
If she was truly being upset or talking to them truly because she was upset with Portia, then that to go at her with, I mean, it's not like that was juicy. We already know their relationship is messed up. So
everybody knew that. Nobody gets over. Even how she presented her invite was, I'm not gonna have her at my house since she's talking about you gonna screw my husband. Like, everything that
Miss Kevin said Kelly threw the gasoline.
What she say?
Joy, you're just breaking out. Angela lit the fire. Kelly threw the gas on it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Kelly
so
just Kelly
right.
threw the match.
On that. They
Kelly just
jumped in and did any kind of.
Kelly threw the match. The everything was set to set on fire. Everything was set, and Kelly just kind of confirmed it. But the fact that these adult 40-some-year-old women didn't put two and two together and see that, it's sad to me. And it's one thing to be in it and not see it, but when I was watching it on TV, I was like, this could be a perfect way to show kids how to divide and conquer. Because this is truly a perfect example of divide and conquer.
Well, they did. They were shady. Yeah, they were shady, but in the end, Portia is acting like a bad friend. They didn't have to bring that up though. But here's what it sounds like. If they've really been together, friends for 20 years, and you're talking about me behind my back and you don't support me, you don't come to the wedding, and, you know, a lot of different things like that. Then she said, the reason, this is the first time she's ever admitted the real reason, Portia, The real reason she didn't go to Shamia's wedding was because she was mad at her from a fight a couple months earlier. Now, what kind of friend is that she didn't even tell her friend they were beefing? Portia doesn't get any sympathy at all, because they should not have thrown the gasoline on it and lit the match and all that.
I'm
They
not.
shouldn't have done that. But the relationship did need to be
bringing up something from 8 years ago. Like, we've been friends for 8 years. You're gonna wait for the cameras to roll to tell your real friend about one thing or another? To me, is utterly ridiculous. I don't even know why they talking about that. To me, that's just pure pettiness. That's you trying to validate why you mad. That's all that is, in my opinion. That Shamia bringing that up is validating why you're mad, or really why she talked to her excuse for why she talked to Angela in the first place. Because instead of Shamia, because in my opinion, I'm not saying that Portia doesn't hold weight, but Shamia is the one that started this, because she's the one that talked with Angela in the first place. How you say that people bring stuff to me and you shut it down? Yeah, you talking about Angela to her. Portia, to her credit, bad friend in a whole bunch of other places. When Angela said that to her, she didn't say anything to Angela.
What part? You mean while she was sitting there crying?
Yeah, she didn't say.
What was there to say? I mean,
it don't matter. When she's Angela's telling her, if Angela is telling her what Shamia told her, Portia didn't say, well, what about so and so? She didn't. She cried, she got in her car, and she left. Angela didn't have nothing to report back to Shamia. Okay. So when I was so confused when Shamia was like,
she cried, Joy. She cried because it was true. That's why she cried. She knew there was something going on in the relationship. That's why she cried. It ain't because Angela sat there and, oh, my heart is broken because I lost a friend. Her attitude with this relationship is crazy. And it doesn't just go back to 8 years at the wedding. There's been talk about them not really being that close since then. It hasn't just been 8 years ago, period. She outright lied to her, though. Outright lied to her and never even corrected herself until this episode. So it is what it is. At this point, they were shady.
She wanted to talk. Portia hasn't said anything.
Why would she?
But she's
the one doing the trash.
Actually, why would she's not going to call what trash has in this season?
She's a horrible friend.
In this season,
you mean the one when she walked in on the birthday party? When she walked in on the birthday party to maybe try and take the camera's attention away from her and her new car. There's one.
That's an assumption. That's not based off fact. That's an assumption that's not based off fact.
What do you mean? That's what we saw on TV.
We saw on TV somebody arriving to somebody's party late. That's
okay, but that's Joy. We can't go and assume this is what they show, but that ain't really what happened. All we can do is talk about what happened.
No, it ain't no assumption. They actually showed somebody showing
we saw
late.
Portia come in and walk up there. That's just one example of how she
what you're saying doesn't make
Portia. It's all about Portia, but I think
you know that. So I'm not saying that it is or it isn't. All I'm saying is that is an assumption. Portia, all we saw is Portia show up late.
We can assume all day.
You're assuming
we can assume all day
wanting to have the cameras on her.
Why is everybody talking about it if it didn't happen?
It ain't
Why is everyone mentioning at the party if it didn't happen?
Because that's how people are interpreting something. That don't mean that it's true. Joy. It don't. It's just like me saying that scene that I talk about with Kenya. When Kenya asked Phaedra and Apollo to have a three-way. If you're watching it looks like she's just talking to those two. But in reality, she wasn't. She was talking to the whole group. There is what we see.
We found that out after the fact.
And then there is fact.
Yeah, we found that out after the fact. Until then, Joy,
wait a minute, let me finish, Callie.
You didn't let me finish, though. Until then, we can't put this blame. We can only go by what we saw. We won't know later if it was an actual scene or not, if she was late or not, until after the fact. But until then, all we can do is discuss what we see on the screen. And this is this season. How many seasons have been on? Shamia's been all over there. We've heard her. We've always heard this kind of stuff. So the only thing crazy about this is that it was two strangers, really, with Kelly and Angela, bringing it up, putting a spotlight on it. So that's what's wrong. But the facts and everything that we're saying is right. So, are you on your cell phone?
No.
Okay, so it's breaking out so
Mine
weird.
is clear. To be clear, I'm at 5 bars and I'm clear. I can hear you very well. So it might not be my end.
I got 5 bars too now.
So I don't know. I've been at 5 bars.
Okay.
Let me read some. Mark my word. Angela's two-faced, manipulative, gaslight line woman. I said when she played both sides of the fence with Kenya and Britt, saying one thing and going back and saying another. Um, um, Joy is correct. Also, Callie, Angela said, I think. Angela was forcing her opinions onto others, and she definitely did that. She even said, I think. So that means she lied on Shamia, saying Shamia was scared.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that.
Yeah, she definitely lied about that.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that Shamia and Portia's friendship is weakened, Shamia
Mm-hmm.
should have addressed Portia following the party. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It was crazy to me. And I'll be the first one to admit that, I ain't been liking Portia this season. I mean, I've said that episode after episode after episode, but, and I knew that something was wrong with their friendship because Portia did say before, I don't even know if the first episode was out or whatever, and Portia said, somebody asked her about Shamia. And she said, well, I don't know how it's going to go. I'm going to have to watch the season and see. I mean, so I knew that something had happened this season.
Mm-hmm. Latoria, yeah, you saying also Kelly said, I think, yeah, she did. I mentioned that earlier. She said, I think, and then just said that, well,
no, I don't think
you're scared.
Portia's innocent. I don't think she's innocent. But I don't think, first of all, there's a lot of rhetoric that people think that Portia is jealous of her. I don't get that because in real time, Portia is living very well. She's living very well. That Rolls Royce, that's hers. She has her own. She's living very well. It's not like she's living in a shack.
I don't think anyone's.
A lot of people are saying
that.
that Portia is jealous of Shamia because she has the life that she wanted, and I was like, actually, it's very similar because Shamia's husband don't want to be filmed.
Okay, the difference is, and I think it's not even really without any question whatsoever. She wants a family with a husband, everybody in the same place.
I'm sure that,
so some are saying that she's jealous of Shamia because Shamia has that exact family that Portia wants. I don't think she's jealous of her though. I just think that, she is not a real friend. Jealousy.
I don't necessarily think that. Because my arguments, even over the last few weeks, was how I thought loyal Shamia was. And one of the things that I kept saying was Portia gonna be so ashamed of herself when she watches film. But I get why the shift. We just hadn't seen the shift. I understand the shift. In my opinion, to be perfectly honest, Shamia started this shift. I'm not saying that Portia has been innocent or the perfect friend, because I absolutely don't believe that. But there is a difference of feeling maybe something is going on, and allowing a stranger that would not care, I sound like Nene, if they are friends or not, to come in and whisper in your ear. And instead of you picking up the phone and calling me and like, girl, what happened? You then talk to this woman and allowed this woman to come talk bull crap about our friendship to me. Like, and to Portia's credit, she in my opinion, shut it down. Shamia, if she was watching this, should be embarrassed too, because while Shamia have shut things down, Portia didn't entertain the conversation. She cried and she left. So, I mean, she entertained it by her tears that let her know she was hurt by it. But she did not say anything to further damage the relationship. Shamia, in my opinion, said things to start this. That's the part that irritates me, to somebody that really don't like her. And in my opinion, because Shamia is okay, she's cool people, but in my opinion, Shamia wants to be liked. And
She's not having a real problem with that because everybody seems to like her.
But I cannot be clearer to you that Angela does not.
Does not like
Shamia or Portia.
Okay.
She does not. She, like, if she was a real G, she won't play victim, but I kind of got a feeling she will. Because she a real G, she would tell the truth. And the truth is, this was retaliatory. You say you're gonna sleep with my husband, you think that's funny? Divide and conquer.
Yeah, I don't know, Joe. I don't agree with the retaliation part. If I'm gonna retaliate against somebody that came at me and my husband like that, it's not gonna be with your best friend who I don't know. I mean,
that's all she can. Portia ain't got no man.
That ain't all she can do.
She ain't got no man.
Well, she can go get one. We know how she can do that. We know how obvious and good she is at that.
And I mean, to me, in my opinion, that was the best thing to do. Two best friends sitting up there cackling about sleeping with my husband, and you think it's funny. I got that. That is the best thing to do, is to break that friendship up. That's a clear attack. I don't know how you don't see that. That's
because we're talking about a married couple and then a friend that you're barely a friend to.
But
one has nothing to do with the other.
It definitely does, because the two friends were laughing at her.
The way she laughs at people too.
That's what who?
Everybody, Portia included. And then the way Portia called her over to take the picture was just a picture of her and Portia at that little event. I don't know if you noticed that, but the way she invited her, come on over here, come on, take a picture, as if she's the queen bee and she knew that Shamia was dying to take a picture with her. I was like, really, Portia? And then she kind of rolled her little eyes. Please. I don't, it shouldn't have been started by the strangers, but it was. Clearly, that relationship is over anyway, without that. So.
This show is, I think, Mariah Huck from Married to Medicine said just a couple of weeks ago on a live. She was like, one of her biggest mistakes was inviting real friends on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Because your real friends will fall apart. That is her biggest mistake.
Yeah, did I say that last time? I agree, but it's her mistake because she knows exactly how Portia is, especially if they've really been friends that long. She knew that by her accepting that role as a full-time housewife, she knew it was going to cause some kind of tension. So I agree. She should have never. If she wants to remain friends with Portia, then being on that show was not a good move for her to make. But when you are able to look and see some of the scenes that have happened between them, they're not friends anyway. So that's why in the end she accepted the offer to be full-time.
Miss Behaving says the flow of RHOA is disorganized. How Portia and Shamia go from twerking in the pool to now beefing with one another makes no sense. Actually, it does. Angela, y'all keep forgetting that Angela manipulated the crap out of them. Yeah, I don't know how people aren't seeing that. That was a direct hit. You laugh at me, I got something for you, little twitches. So she devised a plan. I think this is a clear plan, in my opinion. She went to talk to Shamia for the sole purpose of manipulating her. Not only did she lay out why Portia wasn't her friend, she also threw in, you're her lapdog. You know, in reality TV, that's code for you two twitches is too close. That's what that means. You two twitches is too close. We have seen it on show after show after show after show after show after show after show. We keep seeing it. It's all over I can't even think of a girl set, an ensemble of women where two people are real friends. I don't care if you The only people who had beat the odds are like Giselle and Robin. Well, they used to do the same thing to Robin. They can't do it to Giselle, so they find the weakest link. They do it every single time. Take any franchise. I don't care if you're talking about Basketball Wives or if you got two real friends on any of the Love and Hip Hops or any of the Real Housewives of anything. They do it all the time with real when two girls become too close because you band together and you're not just friends, you become allies. And
so
people
looking at
break
Misbehavior's
that up.
comment, Misbehaving says it's disorganized how Portia and Shamia go from twerking and
I
food to
just
now.
read that.
I know, Joy. I'm about to make a point off of that. So the fact that she's saying that, if you think about it, that's how they do on the show. Because look how friendly Portia was to even accept an invite from Angela. And she, you know, she greeted her with the big smile and the hug and, oh, is this your daughter? No. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You was wanting to screw my husband last week, but now we the best of friends. That's what they all do. That's what they all do.
But I just still can't believe how they let that girl play them like Lotto. You could always tell that it may have already been fractured, and Angela just came in and just tipped the glass and just cracked a little sucker. Just fell apart. Yes. But it was wild to me. I just remember thinking, wow, this is a good episode on Divide and Conquer. These girls are so
Misbehaving.
they own ASSs that they can't see it. And it's actually sad. Either they kind of dense in the head. Because I'm like, ain't y'all seen enough reality TV to know this is happening?
But you know, just as Misbehaving says here, Shamia was a lapdog before this season, and that's true. So
I mean, I don't necessarily think that people are lapdogs. Sometimes you got a ride or die friend that you know you go through stuff, you're not talking, you're trying to figure things out, but you come back. I have friends that I might not talk to for a little bit because we going through something, but we always find our way back to each other. These girls,
you ain't out and about talking behind their backs and stuff though. So
they've been friends since they were like in middle school.
They have. They've been friends since middle school. And you get mad at me 2 months ago, and suddenly you ain't coming to my wedding.
Now I agree. We
weren't really friends.
That was extreme, but that has happened before. I mean, I hate to use a girlfriend's reference, but I always think that the lady who wrote that, Myra, I think Brocker Keel is her name. I think she does a really good job of capturing female relationships. And I do remember an episode when Tony, you know, you get mad at your friend and you don't want them in your wedding. I've seen that personally happen. I used to coordinate weddings 15 years ago, and I have seen that in the weirdest way, where we really good friends and this was supposed to be your bridesmaid, but y'all done fell out and now she's not. That happens. Those are like real situations.
Yeah, I know it happens, but then she came back and she was in her local wedding.
I was just going to say this, just going to mention that Portia was in and at her wedding in America. She just wasn't going to Africa. She just didn't go to Africa.
Yeah, but if you're not going to Africa to see our big event because you're mad at me, then don't be mad. Tell me what you're mad about. Tell me so I'll know, because you wouldn't be in my wedding locally either. You dislike me, you mad at me that much, then don't be in my weddings at all, is what I think.
And then you got a lot of people that's saying that Portia is a liar because she had said that she was mad a little bit before, and they was like she had on the show all them years ago. She said something about she couldn't do a long flight or whatever. Yep. And I thought it was money related because she ain't had no money then.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too.
Yeah, I thought it was money related at the time, but
she can't say it.
Yeah, she just couldn't say that. But you know, I mean, I can't count other people's money, so I don't know if it was money related. But that would have I wouldn't have said that me and my friend are talking right now either, and I wouldn't have said it to Candy either. I wouldn't have.
And you know, Candy made the comment on the show. I don't remember how. Oh, it was 8 years ago, I guess, when the wedding was there. She said then, I mean, this girl dogs you out all the time. She's not hearing you out. Do you really need to be her friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I yeah, no. Let's go to the next one because they didn't have any reason stepping in, but this Portia don't act like nobody's friend. So, nothing new. What else happened? Let's
And
see.
allow someone boldly state, I'm sleeping with a married man knowing I'm engaged and you don't defend me. What?
Ain't hold on.
Let me put that.
Ain't
Ain't
no ride or die nor
no
best friend status if you sit by and allow someone to boldly state. I was like, okay, I
I'm
agree.
sleeping with a married couple knowing, and you don't defend me. Oh,
Hmm.
you talking about with that? Yeah, I heard that but I really get why Portia calls Phaedra. Not because Phaedra kind of petitioned, I'm assuming, I believe that Phaedra be on this show. Now it makes more sense because I don't know if you all remember when Watch What's Happening Live was having its anniversary. It was like a 10-year anniversary. And they had invited a whole bunch of people. And one of the first guests that they had was Portia and Phaedra. It was like freaking Fred. And they were filming. It was last summer. They were still filming. And Portia had mentioned people were so excited to see them together, freaking Fred. We need to get back together. And Phaedra had said something, Portia had hinted like, you should come on back over to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And before you know it, we heard that they were filming. It could have been like days later. And she was interviewed and she said, we trying to work that out. And before we know it, like I said, they must have worked it out. Portia and them wanted Phaedra on this show. But I did hear that the show lost its bearing once Kenya left anyway. And they brought her in to give it a little spice because filming wasn't going well. I definitely could see that with Kenya.
Yeah.
With Kenya gone, they needed Kenya. But I will say this: it would have been interesting to see Kenya and Angela together because together they would have been a force. I believe if they were getting along, they would have been a force because Angela is mature and Kenya is mature. And I think they would have ruled these girls because both of them are manipulative as SHIT. They would have ruled these girls because some of these girls thank God since God gave a headless chicken.
What do you think about Portia saying that Drew was talking about her child?
Well, that's how it was presented. Even Portia has said in recent interviews that it's a lot of things that was presented to her wasn't said the way she was told. She has said, now that part she has said, what's her name has said some things that wasn't accurate as well. I'm talking about Shamia. Shamia has brought things to Portia that she thought was said one way and it wasn't said that way. Because it was something else. I can't even remember what it was. It was before the Pilar thing. But it was something else that Shamia brought to her that the ladies were saying. And she was like, well, that's not really how it was told to me. When she was on Watch What's Happening Live, she said that. So Shamia hasn't, been perfect in this situation either. Because
No, she hasn't.
even about the whole thing about her daughter, while Drew shouldn't have necessarily said that, it was kind of shady. I don't think it was vicious. I just think Drew is clueless. She's one of them girls that I don't think God gave a head to, a brain to. That girl, she's just unaware. She says the stupidest things to me. And she got to be not there next year. There's no way Drew is going to be there next year. I hate to say this, but she's so disposable here. She's
Yeah,
not making
she's not
time.
as disposable as Portia is. Since we're talking about,
I don't like Portia. I don't necessarily like Portia this season, but Portia is working. You might not like her, but she's working. Drew's not doing anything.
She's
Drew is
doing more.
coming.
She definitely doing more than Portia. Okay.
Oh, definitely
So
not.
while we're on
She
Drew,
don't
before
even
we
have no
step off of that,
airtime.
who?
Drew.
What? But look at Portia's airtime.
She's
Look at her
always
time.
she's always getting it. You might not like the
Listen,
content.
it's not like her airtime. She's talking about somebody and why she's mad at somebody or how she wants to
You're
control
missing the
somebody.
point though.
I'm not
Drew
missing the
isn't
point.
getting it
I
at
think you are.
all.
So she's not getting positive press.
She's not. Nobody's talking to Drew.
I think that they all have the same amount. Portia's not doing anything this season, but I
Drew
don't want to get
didn't
off
even
of
have
Drew.
a lead scene this episode.
Portia is doing nothing but crying and apologizing to the world.
That's
But
not.
let's stay on Drew before I forget my train of thought. So when they were at this illegal meeting that should have never took place between Shamia girl and Ralph, Ralph told her, Shamia, that Drew admitted to having an affair with Ty. Then they showed the video of that.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. She said, She laughs at my jokes. We have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hang out with her. But did that sound like she's cheating? If that's what she told Ralph, why would Ralph say she's cheating? What are your thoughts?
That's in the document. Drew is in a lot of trouble. Have y'all read them? Her. First of all, anybody that pays $75 that's in some kind of something or whatever, you can get access to somebody's law documents. And now this case hasn't been settled yet, so it's just his complaint and her complaint. And
right, but based on what she said, according in that video, do you think that is cheating
with a woman?
Yeah,
just talking. I mean, I don't know if she's cheating, but that was all in the blogs in real time that she was messing with Ty. I mean, remember that's how last season ended.
I it was season before last, I thought. But either way,
it was just last season, but it was so long ago because it was that movie. Remember that movie mirrored so closely to her, what was happening in her real life. It was crazy.
No, I don't remember much about Ty. It seems like that was long.
Yeah,
it was before then, but then Atlanta did take a long hiatus.
Yeah, that's what it was. Season 15, it was a long hiatus.
Yeah, and but based on what she said, then Ralph was totally wrong sitting there saying, she admitted to me. She admitted she had an affair. What they showed us, she did not sound like it was an affair. She hung out with her. She did say that. And because they laughed, they talk a lot, she's listening to her. Ralph was wrong for sitting at the table with Portia, whom he knew was going to be there, and Shamia, and say anything at all like that to them. That's wrong. He doesn't care.
That's part of his complaint, though. I don't know how true it is that she had an affair. She accused him of an affair, but he also accuses her. I mean, whether or not it happened or not, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, it's not far-fetched. I mean, even Candy said that. Candy said they slept together. I mean, I don't know why that part is a shock.
Candy said what?
Candy said they slept together, that girl was coming on the set to visit her.
Candy said Drew and Ty slept together?
Yes, that was that's how season 15 ended.
How did she know that?
I don't know. I know that Candy in that, when they were filming that thing, remember at some point they were even at Candy's house. The movie was almost mirroring what was going on. You got this married woman, she's unhappy. This woman comes along. That's what the movie was about. And Ty was coming on set. They actually showed Ty on set one day. I'm assuming Ty and them provided that, or maybe they were filming. I don't know, but they actually showed Ty on set.
Okay. So in other words, we don't know that she cheated, or it depends on his definition of cheating. If the only thing we saw is what they played, then that ain't cheating. Come on, you can be at the and unless Candy was in the room, which not that she would turn it, but unless he was in there, you don't know that they're cheating. No way to know that unless you're watching it anyway. Do you think that she is?
Or you seems like you're going through a lot of lengths to to
do what?
defend Drew.
By
Because
saying that conversation.
she told her husband, if you think he lying and Candy lying, and I mean it's I mean
lying. No,
I
I
mean
said, does it sound like they had an affair?
yes, to
It
answer your
doesn't.
question, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
It's amazing that you don't think that's having an affair, but you can assume that the Portia wants a spotlight on her because she arrives late at a party.
What?
Yeah, as Shamiz. You're
What does
making
that have to do
that's
with
what I
cheating? What am I missing?
that's why I'm saying you're making it's about assumptions. You could jump to the assumption that because Portia came to Shamia's party the first episode late, that she wants the spotlight on her and she was being shady. But for whatever reason, if Ralph said they cheating, Candy said she slept with her, and they got video proof that that girl was on set to see her and them hugging, you don't think that you think that's far-fetched to make that conclusion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But right or wrong, though, I'm just saying what they showed us does not say that she was cheating, and it's not about calling anybody a liar. It's about what we've seen. Yeah, we just there's really no easy way to say any of that. I mean,
but emotional cheating is worse cheating. It is. Your physical is 15 minutes from coming when you are emotionally attached to somebody. That is definitely true. Misbehaving also said Ralph's a bold-faced liar. Drew ain't told him nothing unless she referring to her diligence doing both. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even consider that cheating. If you out with the girls and y'all kicking it with them nasty strippers, they just so nasty to me. For the life of me, I ain't never, all them little naughty parties I've been to, ain't never said, oh, I know somebody who did. I just thought about this. I was literally at a house once with one of our friends got with one of the strippers. But I always thought that those strippers were bisexual. I've always thought that. Because if they'll strip for women, I believe they strip for men for money.
Well, when you say that whole assumption thing, I'm just assuming. Do you remember our last call? When you just assumed Drew was lying when there was nothing out there that could have possibly made her be a liar because the scene hadn't even aired yet. Do you remember that? So I'm not assuming. I'm going by what we're looking at. You were assuming she's lying just because, let me see if I get it right. She's a noun, a verb, and a lie. Don't matter what you've seen or what you know. That's assumptions.
Girl, everybody that didn't work with Drew say she a liar. That ain't me. Like they say every time. I don't work with Drew. I ain't never met that girl a day in my life. But on this
we're talking about assumptions.
People that's around her say that Drew lies all the time.
We're talking about assumptions.
I mean, I'm talking about what the people that work with her have said.
Okay, people that work with her, people that work with Portia, that of course they all talk.
Portia liar too. I ain't saying that Portia is not no liar, but you trying to deflect. We talking about Drew.
Deflect? I just brought Drew up. You are the one that's assuming.
No, you the one that brought up Portia
for the stories.
I'm talking 100% about Drew.
I am. What are you talking about? I'm sitting here talking about Drew as well.
So why did you bring up Portia?
I just said Drew. And then your assumptions from last year, I think your mind is blocked because you just want Angela to be wrong and Portia, everybody but your girls. That's all it is. But I just asked you about Drew and your assumptions of Drew. I didn't say anything about Portia.
I mean, in this very second, we're not talking about Drew. I don't even know how we got on Drew.
Because you brought her up. Or we brought her up after the last topic. Because we spent 45 minutes talking to Angela about Angela.
I meant about her being a liar.
And then while they were at dinner, Ralph told the girls that Drew was cheating with Ty. That's how she came up. I brought that up.
I mean, my issues, like, it's certain things that I don't think Ralph is lying about. Like, in his court documents, they're saying that he definitely was living off Drew. That part is clear. But Drew signed this nonsense and they had a 60-40 deal. And they put all her money and all her checks was set up for LLC. I don't know why he did that. and Ralph got 40%, she got 60%. Well, when you have a legal LLC, the only way that you can close is if both parties want it closed. Now, once she separated from Ralph, what she could have legally done is open up another LLC, and that would have been legal, and allowed her money to be placed in this new LLC. What Drew did was close that LLC. That's just not about immorality. That's actually illegal. And whoever her lawyer was that helped her could also be in trouble. That's illegal. That's not about morality there. Like, and Ralph, there are things in there that she didn't want to get out. Like, he does accuse her of having an affair.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
now
accused as well this first
she
season.
accuses him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he because but it's really weird why she says things like, it's not clear how Ralph makes his money, because according to those documents, I still don't think he has submitted that information. But he pays all the bills. He is paid for that house. That's why when they talk about a money grab and she was upset, Drew wants him out of that house.
Right.
But he is the sole owner of the house. Georgia must be different from Missouri. But he's not only is he the sole owner of the house, all the bills he's taking care of. So, and she claims she doesn't have money. She's been filing unemployment against herself. Like, she like, Drew might be in trouble.
Yeah, I said that as well.
Yeah, she might
it
be in
sounds like
some
that's going to get
legal
messy.
trouble.
Latoria, what are you talking about? It says you do.
Yeah,
I
I
not
knew
assuming.
that. Yeah, she wasn't making money. That part is true. She wasn't also making money until she got on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That part is true. I don't. My point is, I'm not saying that he's living off Drew. As far as the information that's out there, he is living off Drew, because those documents that they have, he hasn't submitted any of his financials. So it looks like, but we know that it can't be true because they've been separated for a year almost at this point. And Drew has been enclosed as LLC, yet he's keeping everything afloat. But something happened with the mortgage. I think that, wasn't it something with the mortgage?
He took out a lien on the house, or she took out a lien on the house.
She took a lien. No, she took out a loan, a predatory loan against the house.
Yeah.
And they may lose the house because of something she did.
He was not living off Drew. Drew didn't make money until Atlanta, and Drew said that as well.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Like, it's a video that's out there. I can't remember the name of the group. I think I sent it to you all. But it's crazy. Like, Drew might be in trouble because she's not going to win this. I understand why she wanted this closed. She's not going to win this. Now, Ralph is an a-hole, but that whole thing with the loan is so shady. Like, how you going to take a loan against the house to try to make yourself look good? Allegedly, it was assumed that it was because of this album she's trying to do. Because
you said they're almost in foreclosure?
Yeah. Okay. She took out some loan. He was taking care of the note, but she took out some loan against the house. And whatever this loan place is supposed to be like a predatory loan place with a real high interest. And she ain't made payments on that loan.
Yeah. So that's bad. I mean, she could definitely get in trouble for that. And I think that's possibly why Ralph wanted it to be an unsealed situation anyway, because he's done some wrong, yes, but he wants to make sure there's notes in there about anything that Drew has done, just so he's not out there long. He's very Martell-ish. I just wish he were more Melody-ish and would have handled things differently.
But I mean, he obviously had his business in order, though, because he's still been taking care of business. However, I don't know what he does for a living, but everything that I remember seeing, he's still taking care of the bills, but he's not getting her money anymore.
Yeah,
So
that's good. I
obviously he
mean,
got some
he should
money.
pay the bills. If that he should be paying them.
I
Always
thought
have, and you
initially
guys are
like
still
it was
residing in the
weird.
house. Hmm?
Yeah. It was weird though initially because you trying to figure out, well, how is he making money? I get he gets 40% of her, but that stopped a year ago. So how is he still taking care of the house?
So you don't think he does anything with tech anymore?
Oh, he don't have any. I have no idea. That's what I heard, that he works with Ted.
Latoya said we looked up Ralph's job, and he makes a lot of money, but not enough to pay all the bills in the house and move out. Okay.
Oh yeah, I knew that. That's why he wants to stay in the basement. Yeah, and I don't blame him for that. Like, I ain't finna move out and have to take care of my place and this one. So that's why he's like the basement, Ralph could stay in that basement forever. He good down there. It's nice looking down there.
Mm.
He got his own interest and exit and everything. He got a whole he can watch TV in a theater. He got a bar down, a whole I don't know if it's a stove and stuff, but I do remember seeing a bar. Yeah, that boy, he whatever. Anyway, did you have anything else from this episode?
Let me look at my notes. Let's see. And what kind of text is that? I'm looking at my note. It says I didn't text him. I told you I wouldn't. Okay, so the alleged text between Dennis and Drew, where he says, "I told you I wouldn't have X, then run me my money." Okay, well, do you believe
that? Something happened to them because he got rid of her. He didn't. She's not signed to him anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Something happened.
I cannot see. I mean, if we're just being okay, so the text, I think Portia added a lot more to that text because she's saying that it says that means he was saying, no, I don't want to F you. That's not what the text said at all. But she's putting that narrative out there. And even when she's letting people read the text, well, it doesn't exactly say that. But she's being petty and wants Drew to, suffer in someone. And so she's just saying that.
And
we don't even know that it's
I don't
true.
think I can't imagine Drew wanting to sleep with Dennis. Dennis seemed like
that's
a cool guy, but I don't. Now that part I don't necessarily believe, but I do think there was a lot of talk about them messing around, and that could have been a conversation around them. I'm not trying to sleep with you. You know what I mean? And Drew just didn't help the situation with. That's why I said about her not just being self-aware. She's just one of those women that, she don't think before she speaks. So when you're saying he was my guardian angel and all that bull crap, instead of, keeping it professional and being like, he's been 100% legit. I would never sleep with your guy like that. That ain't even me. Instead of teetering it. And like, if you not okay with it, I won't film with him. That's what I'm saying. Drew, in my opinion, just brought this in on herself. You can say that Portia was ridiculous.
She was.
All day long, and that's fine. But when you come across people that feel a certain way about something to preserve my dignity, because I don't want to be known as nobody's messing with something, I wouldn't have never allowed this narrative to happen, because I would have never filmed with them. I would have never placed myself in their predicament.
And that applies only to Portia?
No.
Then Shamia was wrong as hell for sitting there having lunch with him too. They're wrong. It's all a rumor.
No, I mean but if you care about your reputation, Portia don't care about her reputation. Clearly. I like Portia at times, but she has a Jezebel spirit. She doesn't care of that. She doesn't have one. Drew does. Drew actually does care. And when you care, you move like you care. And that's why I'm saying she's not self-aware. You can't play innocent and not be self-aware. Like, there's no way I would have done that. Because
so you don't think she's innocent with them having messed around? You don't think she's
No,
innocent?
I don't think that they've messed around, but has she said things to give people that impression? Absolutely. Absolutely. She's left a she because there's no way even to as a just as a human being, if somebody tell me they don't want me to be on TV with your ex, I won't be on TV with your ex.
Yeah, you have to call and maybe get some clarification on that,
Yeah, like I just wouldn't
including
be.
Shamia.
It's
So that, I mean,
that
none of them are
simple.
perfect.
It's that simple.
You should be able to talk. Da, da, da. Um, Angela. Okay, Angela's. What do you think about Angela when she said the baby comment to Wendy? She was talking about her daughter, and it was not about her and Charles. Do you believe that?
I mean, I don't know. I know that either they cut off the beginning of Charlie's age or she didn't give it. And it's possible they did it to shade. But if you go back to the very second, oh, not the very second, I was going to say very first, but it was the second episode when they introduced us to Angela's family. She introduced everybody in her family, all of those children, with their names and their ages. Little Charlie was the only one that didn't have an age. That's fact. So
Well, okay.
now it's possible that production cut that out. It's
Mm-hmm.
possible, or it's also possible that she didn't give that for a reason. Because not only have they not given it, like, I don't even know, I can't even remember if they show his picture. I can't remember. Let me go back. It was at the very, very, very beginning of the second episode.
I remember it. Yeah, I remember it.
Because the first episode was like a cliffhanger. I mean, the second episode was a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. But then we get introduced to both the new people. We get introduced to Angela's family, and we get introduced to what's her name? Her and her husband, Britt's husband. And I'm finna look at it right now to even tell you what segment it is. I'm pretty sure it was in the second segment.
Yeah, so she said though that whole conversation was about her daughter and not her. So the fact that everybody and she couldn't
No, it's about her daughter's father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the fact that people was real quick to run with that being Charles' baby on her, we were some detectives. I thought that was funny. So if that makes it more funny. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be the truth or not, but I mean, I don't know about her husband, but if you listen to the rhetoric that these ladies are giving, apparently Charles been out there. He been outside because the girls, when they shade her in the same way. You've been in a marriage for 10 years and didn't nobody know nothing about you, but we know Charles well.
Yeah, it cracks me up when Britt shades her like that sometimes because Britt know that she's about to get the uppercut in shade from Angela.
She wasn't hardly in this episode.
I know. So I was just about to say that. So her mom's moving in with them.
Okay, here it is. I have 4 children. See, little Charlie looks younger than them. Not that she did show little Charlie. I'm looking at the thing. Amari's 24. Avion is 4. Liel is 7.
So what kid number 1 to what kid are we talking about? Older than 4, under 7, what?
Let me go back and read it again. When she introduces her family, they didn't even show a picture of him. Amari is 24, that's her daughter. Avion, who is 11, and Charles Jr., Charlie Jr., she gives no age for. And then she goes to Arlie, whatever that little girl's name, who's 11. But Charlie looks younger. Because when she shows 2 different family pictures. She shows each one of them, and it was kind of confusing because they're always like a family of 5.
So what about that made people assume it was an outside? Did Angela say anything to that effect?
No, she just never gave little Charlie's age.
And we went and ran with it. Okay.
But but why give the age to all of your children, not little Charlie? I'm not even sure if little Charlie is in any of these pictures, because she shows two family pictures. One that includes her daughter, one includes her older daughter. The first one, it has her, Big Charles, and then she has both her daughters and their son, Avion. I don't even know if little Charlie is pictured at all. That's what's weird. And it's possible, but maybe little Charlie doesn't have permission by his mom.
Yeah, or something
on the show. I mean, it could be a whole host of things, but it's very clear she mentions everybody's name but little Charlie.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought anything about it like that. It's funny though, because we all heard and went through.
The only reason why I thought it was weird is because in the next episode, when they go to one of her rental properties, Angela talks about the reason that her and her husband separated was because of what happened at the Staples Center or whatever. That also didn't make sense. In reality, she did admit this episode that it's because of infidelity.
Yeah, she did.
So, that makes more sense. Like your husband spazzing out at a basketball game or whatever isn't a reason to break up with him. But he was cheating, he was tripping, and it was time to separate. I get that makes more sense. That you don't necessarily, people decide whether or not how much information or if they want to give it in doses. It just made her look deceptive pretty early. But rumor has it that little Charlie is, because it could have been a break baby, whatever.
Yeah. It sounded like he had some issues back in the day, but yeah, let me say.
Yeah, they said that. I heard them. She said, now Angela has said that several times, that you all are going to crack up when you find out how old little Charlie is. Oh. I have heard that. She said that several times without telling how old he is. She said that in several interviews. You all are going to crack up when you find out how old this child is. But it had a lot to do with because of how she introduced her family.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have necessarily said their age. It says Charles has an adult son, I have an adult daughter, but we have two young ones that are under 8. I would have played it differently. I wouldn't have said it like that. But like I said, if he's an adult, he could choose not to want to be on his show. And the fact that they showed another picture and it looked like a younger boy, which is possibly her son, was crazy.
So Troy said Angela did an interview saying that Charles was grown. Little Charles was grown. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if she said he was grown, but I've heard her say more than once that you all are going to bug up when you find out how old he is. So I kind of assumed that he was of age.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I don't think I have anything else in here except for the Londi was on the event. I don't know if you recognize her on there or not. She was at the Porsche event. Did you recognize her? Did you know that was Londi on there?
Yeah, I did.
And then I was looking up some of her stuff today. She owned a company, party planning, an event planning company.
Oh, there she.
So apparently this was not her first time. And they did look cute.
Yeah, they did a good job. That was a cute little setup. That was cute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you all didn't know, that's Portia's cousin that unfortunately passes in August.
Yep.
So,
at 34 years old.
Yeah, she was 34 years old. I don't think they said why or whatever, but yeah, she passed. So yeah.
Was that a selfie studio they was at? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they have studios like that. I know Mariah has one.
Yeah. Yeah, she does downtown.
Those are
Okay, I think
so
that's it. You
sweet.
got any other notes on your stuff?
That's it.
Yeah, text him and affair. Da da da. Drew, their
Uh,
psychiatrist. Why is everybody using the same psychiatrist?
who?
I guess they're all in Atlanta though. Okay, Drew, her psychiatrist. That was Candy's psychiatrist as well.
Yes.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Wasn't it
psychiatrist did.
Candace's? It ain't none but a
Huh?
couple of people that's probably willing to come on these shows anyway.
Yeah. So and maybe they got contracted out with Bravo.
Yeah, they.
Y'all will be our call outs. Y'all will be who we go to if we need something. That's cute. I like that. I like him though. He seems good.
Was that Candace's? Wasn't
Yeah,
that Candace's?
yeah, it was Candace, a psychiatrist person too. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
Candace from Potomac.
Yep. Sure
So
was.
it's possible that they have a contract. And I want to say that he was he the one that went off on that Nene went off on?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Nene went off on another guy, but it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
Okay.
So all right, I think that's it. I think that's it.
All right, y'all. Peace out. I hope y'all enjoy it. Hopefully, these episodes are gonna pick up because I'm RHOA to the end. I'm gonna keep on watching, regardless of how bad it is. But I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna watch. It's like Girlfriends. I love Girlfriends. It got so bad at the end, but I love that series. I was gonna watch it every week, no matter how bad I thought it was. Because I'm loyal like that. So I'm riding with them. Hopefully, if they were smart people, they would really bring Nene back. I would love to see season 5 and 6 cast again. I thought that was like the perfect dynamic.
I would love to see Nene back too.
I would love to see Nene back.
I'd love to see her back too. I don't know how it would work, but
yeah, I would have even liked to see Nene with these girls. I think she would have gotten along very well with Angela. And I just think we could have had Angela in 3rd seasons. Carlos King said they tried to get her in season 3. So that means that she probably would have taken one of the slots of, because Phaedra and Cynthia came season 3.
Mm-hmm.
We might not have gotten
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Did you see Cynthia's new man?
I did that Jamaican or European or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the ex has a new girlfriend too.
Who?
Cynthia's ex-husband, her last ex-husband, he has a new girlfriend.
Good for him.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be with no man that flat out said on national TV that he has never been faithful to somebody.
Wait, is that what did he say that?
He literally said that to her. He has never been faithful to anybody.
Well, you know, some women, we think we can change them.
It ain't that much in the world.
Oh, all right, y'all. Peace.
All right, peace out, y'all. See y'all next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Exactly.